Hello and welcome back to the Crime Reel. Before we start this story, I'm really pleased to tell you that Briefcase and I have decided to collaborate for today's story. If there are any of you that don't know about Briefcase's YouTube channel, I urge you to go visit, as it is the best true crime channel for historic cases. He unearths stories that others simply can't find. There will be a link and more details at the end of this story. In the meantime, over to you, Briefcase.
Today we are looking at the crime of Patraix, a violent crime that shocked the town of Patraix in Valencia in Spain. The couple at the heart of today's story are Antonio Navarro Sedan and Maria Jesus Moreno. They were both born in Novelda, a city in the Valencian region of Spain, around 25 kilometres west of Alicante. Antonio was born in 1981 and Maria in 1990. Antonio studied engineering at the University of Alicante and was described by those who knew him as a well-educated, jovial family man. Maria was a caring, artistic child. She was the second youngest of 5 children and went on to become a nurse. After meeting in 2011, the couple later moved into a house in Calamocha Street in the town of Patraix. Here Antonio worked for a large construction company, while Maria continued her nursing career. On the 3rd of September 2016, Antonio and Maria married in a picture-perfect ceremony. They made a beautiful couple who, at least from the outside, looked perfectly matched. However, the appearance was very deceptive. Just before the wedding, Maria had tried to call off their relationship, but she eventually decided to go ahead with the ceremony so as not to disappoint her family. In the lead up to the wedding, she was repeatedly unfaithful to Antonio. She craved a more outgoing party lifestyle and was not ready to settle down in a monogamous relationship. She had become very close to a colleague at the private hospital where she worked, a man named Salvador Rodrigo, who was 20 years her senior. Salvador was married with a daughter of his own, who was just a few years younger than Maria. Salvador and Maria embarked upon an affair, with Salvador presumably unaware that Maria also had other lovers. With Maria being repeatedly unfaithful to her husband in the first year of their marriage, the couple were constantly arguing. Maria claimed that Antonio was abusive towards her, and it had got to the stage where he was threatening to throw her out of their home. Against all the odds, their first wedding anniversary was in sight. On the 16th of August 2017, Antonio left for work at around 7:30 in the morning, and Maria spent the day with her brother. Some 8 hours later, a motorcyclist who was using the parking garage at the building in Calamocha Street discovered Antonio's lifeless body lying face down in a pool of blood next to his car. An autopsy established that Antonio had been stabbed 8 times in the heart and lungs in a vicious attack in which he had had no chance of surviving. Just 3 days later, Antonio was laid to rest at the church of San Pedro Apostol. At the funeral, his wife Maria read an emotional letter to her husband which expressed her love and gratitude towards him. It was briefly considered by police that Antonio may have been the victim of a random robbery that had escalated into violence, but the theory was soon ruled out as the police began to concentrate their investigation on 26-year-old Maria. The police would soon discover that she was not only having an affair with 46-year-old Salvador, but also with at least 3 other men, Tomas, Jose and Sergio. The investigation also uncovered the fact that Antonio had several valuable life insurance policies, which, in the event of his death, would be paid to his widow Maria. The motive was now clear. In the immediate aftermath of Antonio's murder, Maria and Salvador stopped seeing each other, but resumed their relationship a few weeks later. The police kept Maria under surveillance, and in early 2018, she met with Salvador in a restaurant in the Las Americas shopping centre in the town of Torrent. Maria was becoming increasingly concerned due to Antonio's brother informing her that the police were close to solving the murder. During this meeting, which was partially recorded by the police, Maria and Antonio discussed details of the murder, and on the 12th of January 2018, They were both arrested and subsequently denied bail. After his arrest, in both his police statement and in court, Salvador confessed to the murder and attempted to exonerate Maria. He admitted that he had a great friendship with her, but denied that they were romantically involved. He said that he felt extremely protective towards her after hearing that her husband was abusive and that her living situation was intolerable. Salvador said that Maria had given him a key to the parking garage so that he could park there when visiting the area. Instead, he had used it to enter the garage and lay in wait for Antonio. Meanwhile, Maria claimed that she had wanted a divorce from her husband, that Antonio was threatening to throw her out of her house. He said that he would put an end to the problem. She admitted to the police that she had participated in planning the crime, but stated that she wanted Salvador to scare Antonio into agreeing to a divorce and never believed that he was capable of killing him. She also admitted that Salvador had informed her that he had killed her husband shortly after committing the murder, but she stressed that she was too scared to report him to the police. However, she later changed her story, stating that she did not have any participation in either the planning or execution of the murder, and that Salvador was obsessed with her. 5 days after their arrest, Salvador led the police to the murder weapon, a knife which he had bought a month before the murder in a hardware store in the town of Lleida, around 200 miles from the crime scene. He had disposed of a knife in a septic tank on his farm and then buried it under concrete, gravel and sand. It took a specialist team over 3 hours to dig out the murder weapon. It was reported that whilst awaiting trial, Maria exchanged correspondence with Salvador in an attempt to get him to admit that he had completed the whole plan without her knowledge. After all, if she wasn't convicted, she would still be able to collect the life insurance payment. Eventually, after a visit from his daughter, during which she begged him to tell the truth, Salvador provided the details of what really did happen that day. He said that at Maria's request, Antonio had parked his car at the parking garage on the evening before the murder, something which he never usually did. Meanwhile, Maria had given Salvador keys to the garage, the details of which car belonged to Antonio, and information about Antonio's morning routine. Salvador travelled to the garage by motorbike, arriving at about 7:30 a.m. He was carrying a backpack in which he had a knife, some gloves and a towel. He saw Antonio entering the parking garage about 10 minutes later. By this time, Salvador was lying in wait next to Antonio's car, and as Antonio attempted to enter his vehicle, Salvador approached him from behind and stabbed him 8 times in quick succession. Salvador then quickly left the garage, changed, and disposed of the murder weapon and the blood-stained gloves which he had been wearing. He then went to meet Maria at her brother's house, where he confirmed to her that her husband was dead. However, unbeknown to Salvador, whilst he was killing Antonio on Maria's orders, she was busy exchanging messages with her new lover, a man by the name of Jose, and she would later admit that she never really liked Salvador and that she had only seduced him in order for him to do her bidding. When it came to the trial, both Maria and Salvador were found guilty. They were ordered to pay an amount of 250,000 euros to Antonio's parents and brothers. Maria, as a person who had planned the crime, received a sentence of 22 years in prison, while Salvador, who had inflicted the fatal wounds, received a sentence of 17 years.
So there we are, a truly disturbing case covered today, with special thanks to Briefcase for narrating my story. Thanks very much to Alexandra for suggesting that I cover this case. Please subscribe and click like to the video. As always, your help and support is appreciated. Links are provided in the description below. I also have a collaboration playlist that may interest you as well. Please add any comments down below, and thanks for listening to The Crime Reel and Briefcase. Stay safe. Goodbye. Psst. Maria is referred to by the locals as the Black Widow of Valencia. Goodbye.